to overlook the urgency of the moment. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment.
Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Wherever you are, we welcome you to Inside Liberia. Inside Liberia is the African Action Network radio and television station that is focused on the activities of what is happening in Liberia. Liberia has a democratic form of government, and that form of government that allows free speech is a concern for us today. So you're welcome, those of you who are joining us. Please share the video, and we are happy that you have come, and your comments are also important for this broadcast. As Liberians get prepared for 2023 elections, we are looking into issues that effectively help the people to make a better decision. So the last broadcast, we were talking about how is democracy working for you, or is democracy in Liberia working for you? And for democracy to work for you, there are pertinent issues that borders democracy. The Constitution of Liberia gives each Liberian the opportunity to speak freely. And that free speech is the focus for our today's discussion. How freely do you speak in Liberia? The Constitution already guarantees your right to speak freely. But do you take advantage of free speech? I don't know about you, but in this period of our existence, the global effort is to make sure that democracy works for a group of people who are residing in a particular location like Liberia. So how free do you speak? You can say the government is not allowing free speech. So the freedom you have, how are you using freedom to protect democracy and to help democracy work for you? Now, for free speech, there are institutions that should enhance free speech, like the press, religious institutions, civil society groups, political parties, individuals who are associating. You should speak through these organs so that you can enhance the working of democracy, or you can ensure the protection of democracy. In Liberia, how free is the Press Union of Liberia, media institutions within that country, addressing issues that are confronting that country or the democratic process? Religious institutions, the churches, the Muslim community, and all other religious institutions, the government, the Constitution of Liberia has guaranteed free speech. So all religious institutions in that country should speak freely on the issues affecting that society. But are religious people speaking freely? Are they addressing the issues that border that country? Like the continuous disappearance or unaccounted for death within Liberia? How many religious institutions are speaking on these matters? If the Constitution has guaranteed that you speak freely, and yet These institutions, like the churches, the Muslim community, are not speaking on the issues that affect that society, then you are not helping democracy to work for you. Those who you elected are servants. They are not your bosses. They are just servants. They are there to serve you. So what they do, how they do it, you have that right to caution them, to ask them, to petition them, so that they can do what is necessary to build that society. If you have decided to be quiet and you want someone else to speak for you, it's detrimental to your very self. Democracy can only work for each of you when you caution the government, when you petition the government, when you speak loudly, when you write articles, when you conduct press conferences, when you speak on those things that are confronting the society, that those who are leading probably are not doing, they will begin to think how they can work to better your situation. So we ask you this morning, are you speaking freely? Are you taking advantage of the free speech that is guaranteed to do what you're supposed to do for yourselves in that country? Many of us, or you say Liberia is old enough and yet underdeveloped. But there are tenets of democracy that you have negated or have decided not to follow. If you have freedom to speak, not like other countries. For example, I will speak of Russia. The Russian people don't even have the opportunity to go on Facebook like you do, to go on other social media like you do. There are other countries like China. You cannot do those things very freely, without control. The Liberian government is not controlling you to the extent where you cannot speak freely. So you need to take advantage of that opportunity that is guaranteed by the Constitution and do what you need to do for yourself. And you can do it. Your voice or your voices are your powers. Your voice is a power. You don't need guns. All you need to do is to associate with legal institutions like the media. Every media institution should write articles, should get involved in writing editorials, must look at the issues that are affecting the society, must be very much straightforward with those who are leading, speaking truth to power. That's the only way you can change our society. If you think somebody giving you a few dollars is a way that's going to silence you and you condone it, your generation will suffer for a long period of time. So for us at 2A Radio, we ask you this pertinent question. They guarantee free speech by the Constitution. What are you doing with it? If people are dying in the country and you have media institutions, barrage media institutions, different media institutions, you have churches from one corner to another, you have civil society organizations in the society in that country, and yet you have few group of people, 103 legislators, the president, the chief justice, and the associate justices. These are few group of persons from the 5 million persons within the republic. So the power of your voice can make these people to work for you. It's not by choice. It's for you to tell them this is what the law says. This is what you need to do. If they don't do what you want them to do, when you have an opportunity like election, that's the time you exercise your power. You change them with no precondition. How real are you to yourself? I'm speaking to you. How real are you? You cannot pretend to live in a society and you don't care about what is happening in your environment. If you don't have electricity for years, for decades, for centuries, you don't have running water, you don't have, the basic social services, even your own children, they can't have proper meal. What is stopping you from talking? Are you afraid? Or you don't know that you have a right to speak? Well, we have come to tell you, you have absolute right to speak. When you're speaking, no one is asking you to get involved in incitement. Don't get involved in defamation. Don't get involved in fraudulent activities in the way in which you speak. But you can talk to someone, talk truth to the power that you have, that you created. You can tell George Weah, you were not elected for this reason. If you continue to do this, we will remove you. Not by guns. Not by guns. But election is coming. Like next year, 2023 election. If you've been speaking and his officials have not been listening to you, when election comes, that's the time you exercise the power of your voice. How freely do you speak? The framers of the Constitution knew the different layers within a democratic setting. The Constitution expects that there will be 3 branches of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. The framers of the Constitution did not think that these people will operate like one unit. Then there would have been no reason for establishing a 3 branch of government or branches of government. But the Constitution expected that the legislature will check on the president, and the president and the legislature will check on the judiciary. The president likewise will check on the legislature, and the judiciary will check. So that's how the framers set up the governance process, the democratic process. But if you see these people, all of them putting their hands in a cookies jar, and they don't have distinction, then the 4th estate is expected to get involved, to check on these 3 branches of government vigorously, make sure that these people account for every dime that is they allowed. That's the people resources. The money belongs to you. It's not for them. They should be in a custodian. They are managers. But if they are mismanaging and you cannot speak, then you give them the right to do what they are doing or what they shouldn't be doing. So how freely do you speak? Do you take advantage of the free speech as guaranteed by the Constitution of Liberia? We believe the people's power is in their voice. Collectively, let's just imagine if the media, civil society organizations, churches, and the mosque, if you have just these 4 organs deeply involved in free speech, Liberia will be changed. But guess what? People prefer taking few dollars to compromise the interests of the majority. And let me say this, everybody cannot be educated to the highest level before you have the necessary change that you should be fighting for. If you have a level of education, it's not that you take your diploma and go put it on the table. You don't light the candle and put it under the table or the desk. You light the candle and put it on the desk. The reason why we all are speaking like this is because guess what? You know who suffer? International community. Other people, taxpayers, are suffering the brunt of your failure to caution your government to do what it's supposed to do. Primarily as to Liberia, Americans. Right? Let's assume all Liberians that came into this country were asked to say, hey, you pack your law. Whether we get us citizenship before or not, you'll leave. If all Liberians around the world were just to go back to Liberia, imagine it. What was going to happen? You don't have jobs. People don't want to sit down and die. You will have a very serious upheaval because those who are living in America, they have learned some basic things. Like the free speech I'm talking about, they know how to speak freely without interference. So just think about it for a minute. If all natural-born Liberians were to be asked, and don't take things for granted, the earth is changing. Things are happening so fast. A few days ago, Great Britain decided they were going to, all of these foreign nationals who have not had their citizenship or their status right, they decided to put them back and put them on a plane and carry them back. I think it's Zimbabwe, right? Zimbabwe, one of those African countries, to take them back. Anything is possible. When the world is changing, don't take nothing for granted. So what is stopping you from speaking? Now, we give thanks to technology and those folks who have done all they can. You know what Facebook is created for? Free speech is one of the primary reasons why you have the social media. It's not just to get up, you text your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and say, oh, happy birthday and all of this stuff. No. Happy birthday. What good is it when you're telling people happy birthday and you have many issues? Somebody has died. Somebody needs just your voice to be added to their situation for the situation to be changed. But you wake up, the first thing is happy birthday, happy birthday. Today is Father's Day. So it's, oh, Father's Day, Father's Day, Father's Day. So social media, there's nothing wrong with you doing those things. But can you use the same means to begin to discuss those issues that are affecting society? Princess died. Can any of you tell me what is the result of our situation now? Our situation died down. You know why it died down? Because all of you are quiet. All of you are quiet. So anybody you die in Liberia, you're unfinished. Just a few days, and it's done. But the leader, the Jowiah, knew when something happens, that Liberians will wake up to the reality of time and tell them that we demand this thing. Even if they say they're putting guns in the street, you say, hey, this girl there, we want result. Guess what? You will get result. You will get result. But Princess Copper been there how many times? How long now? Our case end. They finish. Imagine you saw that. What happened? It end. Abakopo and the other girls that got killed, or whatever. And I say killed because there's no findings that's so convincing that say, well, these people died natural death. Full presence, right? The other auditor died. In a period of time that is like fire. Tell you what, they say what? Like Coca-Cola vestation, people will say. After a few days, it died down. You know, Americans, those of you who are calling American Banana Republic, when that January 6th took place, guess what? They are going to the bottom of their of whoever was responsible for that situation. They don't like sleeping dog lives. Liberia, you want to do it? People think you hate people. Ask yourself, why did the Freemen say you should have a right to speak freely? Because they believe society, if you don't have this, setup, people will do what they want. Human being by nature is just cruel. They don't care. Hey, Akara's great life, you want your friends to go get married? Somebody will say, oh, Jensen, yeah, oh, this and that. But guess what? If you are a true leader, when the people are suffering and dying and in need, get bad roles. Even sometimes you will say, well, my wedding, I'll postpone it. Or I can't get married regular. The mices, I'll be with the mices. Where are the mices? Or you satisfied with it? Nobody want to talk because you know why? People, when I talk, people will say like jealous, say, who cares? When you are representing the people interest, you should be for them, you should be with them. But you take thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you go to France, they want to get married. You didn't have Cara Gray working for a personal money, he would have done that? You couldn't have done that. He couldn't have done that. In fact, it was in America, the people will start monitoring where you get the money from. You know, but no accountability, people don't care. A Cara Gray, whether you get money, you don't get money, nobody care for him. You think a Cara Gray working singularly with his resources, just his salary. You think he would do that? He would do that. He would just fly and go do things. He can't. He wouldn't have done that anyway. It's possible. Don't get me wrong. He could save money to do it. But we tell people that, say, okay, let a Cara Gray, people must order his book. Let's see where you get money from. Not only a Cara Gray he collected some other, officials. They all flew to France. Have some merry making. At the end of the day, your power you have, come 2023, it's up to you. Who you're going to elect? Okay, guess what? Somebody will bring you $100. Someone will bring one bag of rice. And you will think that's the biggest thing ever. But the decision is yours. You have to vote. Power is in your voice. The media, every media institution. If, for example, people woke up tomorrow morning and just saw, hey, different headlines on the issues that are affecting society. There are editorials, there are commentaries, there are people who are making some small flyers and just making sure the information get out to the people. All of their pages, their social media pages carry one issue. Like, for example, Princess Copper. If Princess Copper's situation was still a hard line, the Justice Minister will be thinking about it almost every day. Even if they wrote some kind of a report, they will always want to visit that report. But when things happen, the same way you're raising that, like firecracker stuff, that's how officials go after those things. By the time they're seeing it, they themselves calculating it. They're looking at the society. By the time you calm down, they all calm down. They take your fire and go put it somewhere else. A few days ago, what we're hearing, CPP, what happened? CPP died. CPP gone down. So the other case in Liberia, looking for another action to take place. Another thing happen, you see everybody there. Everybody involved into it. And after a while, it ends. That's Liberia. Nobody go after it. And I tell anybody, fight not to die in that country. You die in that country, you finish. You're done. All the thing, or oh yeah, they meant that, oh, this and that. You be wasting your time. When will Liberia, a beacon of hope for Africa yesterday, will take the opportunity they have to form a very good government that can work for them? The U.S. officials told people, it is left with you. The massive level of corruption is left with you. Whatever you're doing is left with you. It's not them. They have their own way of controlling these people. But they cannot come on the ground and do it for you. The American ambassador can speak. He can go and play football with George Weah. He can sit down with George Weah and talk, but they know what they are doing. They know their obligation. They know what they are in a country for. You, the people, you have a voice. But everybody's going to be quiet. And the frustrating part, even those who call themselves lawyers, they believe to go to law school now is just, okay, yeah, I wear that necktie every day and just wear that coat suit, that's all about it. when you get on social media, the world has changed, whether you believe it or not. Some of you were not following event. It's not like yesterday. When you lawyer, you go sit down and just say, okay, yeah, me a lawyer now. I'm a, grow your wing. When in actuality, you get in a courtroom, your performance is poor. You should be one of those, all lawyers should be in the vanguard, writing articles, issuing statements, cautioning people. Like we're going to be discussing who's going to be the next Chief Justice. Copa's supposed to be leaving, right? Who's going to be the next Chief Justice? That's an issue. How many persons raising those issues? The Liberal National Bar. The bar should have a voice to say, we will not allow the executive, in as much as the executive has the power to appoint, but your voices, when you are speaking on those things, maybe accept a very stubborn leader. And when a leader is so stubborn, that means he's not a democratic leader. But everybody should be speaking now. What kind of Chief Justice you will have after Copa left? John Lewis, the late John Lewis, may so rest in peace. I think 2006 or 2007, one of those annual year message from President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Because of constitutional issue, the bank did not go to Hotel Africa because they said that place was outside of Monrovia. People who are knowledgeable, people who know what to do, they stand their grounds. You cannot sit in the country and the country is declining every day. And you can't say something about it and you think there's going to be angels from heaven to come and do it for you. No. It is you who should be talking, say, hey, this is not the life I'm supposed to live. You reach the age of 40, for God in heaven's sake. It's frustrating for everybody. And not because I'm in America, but myself, I suffered the pain before. Nobody should be at age 35 without having a plan laid down for their lives. Nobody. There must be opportunity created for everybody. But you have a government that don't have the slightest thought as to how to create opportunity for its citizens. And you keep quiet, that means you allow them to do what they're doing. For real facts, how many of you know the salary of the President George Weah? How many of you know the salary of the Speaker? How many of you know the salary of the Vice President? How many of you know the salary of the Chief Justice and the Associate Justices? To tell them one day, say, no, what? There's a group, association, say, no, these people will have to reduce their salaries and their benefits. While the country is poor, the American government, you go online and I can know Joe Biden's salary. I want to know Nancy Pelosi's salary, I can get it. It's not a secret. And when you see it, it's real. It's from that to pay their taxes. There's no hidden things to say, oh, I'm going to do that and do that. Because what? American people, they will speak no matter what it is. If things going wrong, they're definitely going to speak. You will hear the different groups talking. The media, they will write. But Liberia, even the media, how long do they speak? Do they write articles? Do they write commentaries? Those for the radio stations. Do they write commentaries? How many commentaries regarding development, the rural situation? How many commentaries have you listened to? All of the platforms that you have around, how many commentaries are written every day? Because social media, you should be writing commentaries, right? So somebody maybe to read. I mean, those of you who are using phones and getting on social media, you have the biggest platform all around you. You think these people don't read, they don't listen? They do. But they feel joyful when Liberians are not speaking. So we thought to raise this issue today. It's all about what? Free speech. The church is a major component of these things. But when the church The pastors, the reverends, the bishops, they themselves are all after what can I get? Nations, great nations today, like even America, their forefathers struggle and sacrifice for the development of their country. There are people in our country who are prepared to sacrifice for that country, but you don't know them. You know why you don't know them? You want a glamorous type of people. Somebody come in with their big wing. Oh, I'm theirs. I get millions. Then you start, you yourself, you don't even know the man come. The man is a billionaire. He's theirs. You get deceived. You elect into power. At the end of the day, your situation remains the same. You become voiceless. You can live at the detriment of your own life. How long do you have to live? Let me ask you the question. How long do you think you have to live in this world? Let's take the maximum. 3 score 10. How long do you think? How old are you? How long do you have to live? What do you think you're going to do before 3 score 10? Even if you will live beyond that, your strength will be gone. So now is the time. And one of the perfect opportunity you have is 2023 election. Those of you who have that voting right in that country must be able to sit down and tell people straightly in the faces, we can't elect this man again. And you have reasons. It's not about pretending. It's not about feeling sympathy, having sympathy for somebody. It's about the reality of time that you have that is working against you. You know, the time here for me is 1:05 here, preparing for tomorrow morning broadcast. So by 7 o'clock, you get home. You hear what probably we're saying. Why are we doing this thing? It's not because of ourselves. I should be sleeping, right? But sometimes when you look behind you, you look at the society you left behind, you want to change. And the way to go about it is to keep speaking. Those who get ears to hear will hear. I listened to a preacher man from the Liberian Senate. Powerful message. Fearless speaker. If you have 10 of those kind of people in the podium at different churches, something great will happen in that country. You know your situation. Things are getting worse. Like I listened to that Reverend Hodo. His voice, his power. How long did he speak for? That man spoke for less than 10 minutes. But you know what he said? Everything he said was caution to those people. So imagine if people were using a pulpit, if people at the mosques were speaking on those matters. When the different segment of society begin to speak, you caution those who are leading, and they will be bound to follow your lead. But if you are quiet, then they enjoy that. Then your resources, you see somebody will do anything they want to do. Okay? So once again, we have come to tell you, say, your voice is your power. How wise, how seriously do you consider using your voice for a better Liberia? How? Don't ask somebody else. Ask yourself. If all the Liberian market women, you don't need to fight. Liberian market women say that today, people dying in this country, our children are dying, our children are being raped. We stand against it. We will not sell for 3 days. We will be in the market here where our voices will be heard. Nobody will buy anything here. It will be serious. People will pay attention. I mean, before somebody rapes somebody, somebody will see somebody raping somebody. But if you can't see who raping somebody and somebody is raped and nobody talk about it, the next one you have another rape case coming up. That's what's going on. When I go to the court, nothing serious happened. But people knew that there are people in that country that are very forceful and they can speak their mind fearlessly for the good of society. People will be careful what they do. You can change a society, just your voice, not guns, just a voice. Speaking truth to power is one of the powerful tools that you have as a citizen of that country. People at age 30, 35, 40, 50, and don't have hope. There's no opportunity. No opportunity. And you can't speak. Because sometimes, I don't know whether your strength is gone. The strength in your voice is power. Sometimes, like in America, one man can get up and just decide to be what? The voice of the voiceless. When you hear about New York Times, the Washington Post, you hear about all of these powerful media institutions, they may have their own situations, but these people, you dare not do something that will come to their attention, they will publish it. That's how society grows. And they write it, they don't care. Like Donald Trump in power, that Donald Trump, they're still going to write their stories. Joe Biden here, like I was watching one of the media institutions this morning, Joe Biden riding bicycle, he fell. People pick up that story. In Liberia, the very people who suffer will be protecting that jail and nothing happened. The story is a story. The reality of things is what people see and what people write about. This doesn't mean they hate somebody. They just want to keep eyes on society. The Law Society, the American Bar Association, if the situation in Liberia was that here, you will hear the people here writing editorial, writing articles, discussing the probability, who is the best candidate. But in Liberia, lawyers don't care. You have the Chief Justice supposed to be going out, right? Even the time Chief Justice was on, there was an argument about the Chief Justice, his age, and all of this stuff. People dare talk about it. What is wrong with discussing whether the man is beyond his age or not? You know, now he's about to go out. I think it's August or September. So if he resigns and leaves, who Joshua is going to appoint as Chief Justice? That's going to be another discussion we're going to pick up. What do the Liberian people want to discuss it? But we're going to discuss it. We are two we're going to talk about it. That's how important it is when you have people who are knowledgeable and decide to. It's not about hatred. It's not that you hate somebody. It's about the reality of things. Who's going to be the next Chief Justice? Is the Liberian National Bar Association going to be a part of this decision making? How? Or is it just we say, okay, you know what? The play we air now, we had to be thinking about election. So we put anybody in our place, whether the person know the law or not, we're just going to put in and put that person there. We had to prepare ourselves for any legal battle from the upcoming election. Is that what you're going to allow? The power of your voice can make George Weah not to do anything crazy, to appoint anybody you want to appoint. And I think for the good of society, George Weah should be asking the Liberian National Bar to make some suggestions. Or lawyers themselves should be writing articles, talking about, okay, we think among the Liberians, this person is going to become Chief Justice. Your voices can be heard. Except a real dictator who cares less, that's how you will ignore those articles. But you write your articles first. Put out suggestions. Who is among you that is fit for the Chief Justice position? Let people begin to hear what you think. Rather than keeping quiet and think to go to law school, to get from law school and keep quiet and sit in one place. You know how many great lawyers are sitting somewhere and just, getting their voices heard, making analysis of things? So we have just come to tell you, it's all yours. Your voice is power. Not power to take guns, but power to caution, to speak truth to those who you elected to serve you, to those who you elected and appointed people to serve you. You have a voice to do that. If you don't talk, they do what they want to do, and you remain where you are. A pity to see any young person getting from 35, 40, no plan. 50 years, no plan. Even 60 years, you're giving up life. You wake up in the morning, no strength, no retirement plan. Even those who work for the government, and nobody speak about it. Nobody can say, well, no retirement plan for us Liberians. You work for even the very government for years, you get up, nothing else for you. Somebody work for government, you know what the person told me? Taking $10, $15 as retirement. When people are taking thousands of dollars, just 1 month. Instead of saying, well, we must create a kind of insurance policy that will benefit employees. There must be some life policy that people can depend on when they're old. They can have something to rely on. We might have some free medical care for certain age of people. When you're 40, 50, or whatever it is, you might have free medical care. How many of your people thinking about that? And because you are not speaking, they don't care themselves. All they care is watching the time. The time kind of manage it. They come again, they micromanage people. You vote for them again. Then they get everything. Their children are going to good schools. Their wives are enjoying the resources. They're riding the best of cars. They're building the bigger the houses or the duplex or what have you, and you remain where you are. That's not the kind of society you want. That's not the kind of society. Children should have opportunity. All children must have a free opportunity to wake up in the morning, take out their iPad, the technology. This is the time that children, there are things myself learn most of the time. I just want to tell myself, I wish Liberian children had the opportunity to do these things. All these things we're doing right now, if children were opportune to get these things, we don't need to do these things. There are people who should be doing these things. But how many of our people don't take this thing for granted? It's difficult to do. But you have to be someone who play with these things before you get to know about them. So I want to say thank you for watching. This is 2A Radio. And today we've been discussing free speech as guaranteed by the Constitution of Liberia. How loudly do you speak on issues affecting you in your community or society that you live in? That's the question we want you to be thinking about as you get prepared for 2023 election. We're going to be here next time to raise continuous issues on democracy that maybe you can sit one day and make a sound decision. I always tell people, there's nothing wrong with teaching people until you find the right person to lead. Thank you so much. Until then, have a pleasant good day. Bye for now.